Okay, we're back.
Oh, are we here already?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. Wait, did that post on my page?
I don't know.
Probably didn't.
Let me go see.
Right? Don't you have to like tag us and everything, or for the new feed?
Yeah, I do need to tag you.
Yeah.
So let me tag you really quick.
And I'll probably have to approve it.
Yep. Okay. It's saving. Jesus Christ. All right, there you go. It tagged you.
Yeah, there we go.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure it posted on the crawl page as well. It should have. Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it did. Okay.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway. Oh, man, I always got to remember that.
What?
Right. This Oklahoma Award. Director, writer, Crawl or Die 2. I know you the people that come on here all the time are going to get tired of it, but literally we get emails all the time from people who are like, "Wait, you are Oklahoma Award, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, yep, I am."
It says right there, Oklahoma Badass
Well,
Award.
but remember, they're overseas,
Right.
so
right.
that's
Hey Diane. Hey, by the way, I'm Nicole from Crawl or Die 2, play tank. Diane, thank you so much for purchasing the
yeah, that was
super
really
fan
sweet.
pack and my music. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's really sweet.
It's so nice of you.
We get all of that money. Well, I think they take like 10 cents or something.
Gumroad takes like a very tiny percentage, but
right.
Yeah, we get. That's the best way that we can get any sort of profit from our content is from our website. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, right.
So for anybody that missed the very short stream about 40 minutes ago, we have updated our website, the Crawl or Die Trilogy website.
Why did I put an A at the end? How did I spell Diane?
Diana.
God.
How you doing, Diana? That's your new name, Diana. We're going to call you Diana now.
God.
Diana.
D-I-A-N-E.
That's that old Diana that we get on in the chatting, Diana. You gotta excuse Oak. He's
Wait, did it not post?
I don't know what you're doing over there.
Good Lord.
Okay? He's drinking, so.
No, I'm not. I'm
you got
not.
something to keep. Oh, yeah, you are. I am royal now. That's right. Diana.
Yeah, sorry.
And we knight thee, Queen Diana.
Sorry.
Okay, so we posted the polls on 3 different socials. It was Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Right. Plus 2 or 3 platforms overseas.
And it looks like we're getting back some results. And the two points that I'm seeing so far in these polls, by the way, for anybody that might be catching this later, they'll be up for 24 hours on all the sites. So basically what we're asking is that you visit the website, which is crawlordietrilogy.com, is scrolling on the bottom there. And after you check out the site and sort of look around, then come back to the site of your choice, be it Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and go to our stories.
Yeah.
And there's a poll. There's like several questions, and we just want your guys' help fine-tuning the site. We want to make sure it's functioning properly and it's easy to use and everything. So
I think already
Matt.
We're seeing a lot of people on 2 topics that we kind of thought, but you never know.
Yeah. So the 2 main. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, don't say anything
I won't
because
say.
I don't want people to.
I'm glad that for the feedback though, because it's 2 things that we were debating about doing anyway. But we thought we'd let you guys sort of check it out, and if you guys were like, "No, that's perfect. We didn't have any problems," then we would have just left it. But
yeah,
there are 2 things already that we're going to be doing, which is
changing.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, David. Matt, by the way, your videos came through, so thank you for sending those. I'll be adding those to the website after this.
Right.
The website is still evolving. We are also going to be adding a press page that has all the articles that have been written about the sequel and everything. I'm currently having to go through and find all the links again. So But I'll be adding those slowly, and once I've got them all added, we'll be adding a press page. And the press page, or I think we called it the press page, is also going to be a page where we update everything that we've got going on too. So, for instance, we launched a new campaign. If we're doing the car wash, when we go to Texas Frightmare Weekend, we'll be posting all the updates and press that happens in this one area, so everyone can kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll probably post updates regarding Kickstarter there at times too.
Well,
so.
one thing that a lot of people seem to be liking is the Twitter feed on the homepage, because people who don't use Twitter can kind of see what it's about. Like we are, our hashtag Crawl or Die 2 has been trending now for the last 7 days. Now we're not trending in the upper realms yet. I figure that will probably happen for a day or two once the trailer comes out. But it's trending in the top 70% of all the hashtags in the United States. You can see all the people that are talking about it and retweeting it and all that kind of stuff. So
filming withdrawals after filming every weekend for every year. I know. It's kind of weird. Going from having people here literally every weekend and also sometimes during the week to nothing. I mean, it's not nothing. We're over here working on other stuff, but
yeah, I don't feel it at all, because my job has been pretty much the same. You know, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because Nikki kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
But I don't, man. I'm telling you, like.
Well, to me, it's just that on-set feeling. It's like the set family that you create, and having everybody here weekly and the bonding and everything.
No,
I miss it.
My workload has tripled now.
Oh,
actually,
for sure.
Directing the movie is less work than editing. It just is, because technology is moving so fast. All these platforms will only take things in a certain way, and without having a team of people to do that. Like last night, starting, what time did you go to bed? About 3 a.m?
I went to bed around like after our stream. I went to bed for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you got me up around, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then we were up the whole night working, and then
there's a guy because for all of you all that show up, you guys are going to learn this about me. I'm really, really conscientious.
Yeah.
On if I'm going to do something, I want it to be right. And since I didn't go to school, or since I don't have high-powered friends that I can call that have done, like even, by the way, Friday night, I'm going to post about this tomorrow. There's a watch party for Nick Simon's movie, Untitled Horror. And I think Nikki and I are going to try to join up to it. I'll post about it tomorrow. If you guys want to join on, we're going to be there. I consider him a pretty high-profile director. He did Wes Craven's last movie. He filmed Wes Craven's last movie, the script that Wes Craven had, and he's a good guy. And but even he's like, I'm not an editor. I'm a director. Well, I'm the jack of all trades here. And I was working, and all of a sudden I realized that there was something I didn't know that had changed. And so I go to, they consider him, since I use Final Cut Pro to edit on, he is, not only was he part of the development team, not only still to this day does Lionsgate call him to consult when they're editing and using stuff. Again, Nicole and I searched him out. We became friends with him. And he is excellent. Any question I have, he gets me through it. But this is how he talks. So I had to deal with this for 4 hours last night. Okay, you need to calm down. What you need to do is open up the page titled Z. I go, yeah, I've got that open. Okay, now in the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says B. Yeah, I've already hit on that. I'm over here on D. Now, have you hit B? Yes, I hit B. Now, Is there a new page? Yes, there's a new page. Do you see C? Yes. Hit it. Okay, I've done that. Did you do it? Yes, I've already done that. Okay, what do you see now? Page D. I'm having a problem with page D. He's like, okay, now. And literally for 4 hours, like, and I'm not that type of person. I'm like, look, I've gone through ABC. I'm on D. I need help with D. But that's why he's so good and he doesn't make mistakes, because he works on multi-million-dollar films and he can't afford to make a mistake. He always starts back.
So he has to make sure step one you start.
Works all the way through.
So he knows there's no step that's been missed. But I agree, he does talk like that, and it kind of reminds me of like, you know, that guy that did the Clear Eyes, those commercials back in the day. Like he has that tone of voice. So it reminds you of like, I don't know, like an old math teacher or something that's going through all these steps, and you're just like, oh, you have to listen. But he's the best there is, and definitely he knows his shit. So.
Well, so the reason the website is important to us is for two reasons.
Thanks, David.
Number one, the buyers, the distributors, the companies that purchase films, i.e. your Netflix, i.e. your team at Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, Shudder, they do not go to your Facebook page. Where they go is they go to Twitter and they punch in the hashtag and they see if anybody's writing about you and if people are talking about you, and then they go to your website. And that's why we have started, I figure within the next 4 or 5 weeks, we'll have that thing fine-tuned to where we'll have all the reviews, the interviews. We've got a bunch of interviews coming up. We'll have the official trailer and all that. And so we decided last night, we knew we had to redesign it and kind of start peeling off from the first movie and start focusing all the energy that's building on the sequel. And so we've started doing that. So I appreciate everybody that went over there.
Hi, Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. Oh, I'm sorry.
He's not talking to you. He's saying hi to me.
Yeah, my apologies. So I will say this. We get a lot. I don't think this is. No, fuck it. You guys know me. Ironically, out of China and Japan, we get the most technical advice on the website, which is kind of funny. And then all of you people, I kind of get more of the feeling, and the people that we have on Instagram, the people that are here in the U.S., it's more about the feel. Does it feel good? Does it make you want to stay there and kind of look around and see what all is there, or are you like, nah, and move on? And we're trying to notch in a little bit of making it to where it's got content that's interesting and stuff that people might want to check in on. Case in point, every time that you guys make something, we'll be putting it on the Twitter feed for sure. So that will be on the homepage as it goes through the feed. But we will also be putting it on the fan art page.
Yes.
So I hope you guys keep checking and seeing your stuff there, because it looks kind of cool. Now, one thing we didn't put on the questionnaire, but I think it's right to do. So we decided not to put it in the questionnaire, which was, I think it'd be easy for us to do, is on all the fan art, put your all's names. Like Matt Crabtree did those
videos,
the
cool.
2 videos. And I thought about, just putting his name on it. Now, one thing that we can't do is we can't link off the site, to you, but, we can put your name on it. That's what the ebook is going to be about. All the stuff that's on that fan art page is going to be going in our ebook, and that will have live links to where, like David Duke, I know that you have a business and all that. And
David, we're grateful that you guys do this for us. Like, you do fan art for us, so we are happy to share it.
Yeah.
And have
are you kidding?
Place to show everyone all your guys' awesome work, because
look, there's
saw Sergeant on the fan page, of course.
You guys are going to see this. We're going to be posting about it in a couple of days. There's a site called Indie Boom. I think it's called Indie Boom, and they're backed by some pretty powerful people, and they posted about our movie and everything, the sequel and everything, and we'll get that link out there. We're trying to drip that stuff out and build it up towards the trailer, but they have like 5 people in the entire world that talk to them, and they've been there for a couple months, and they're working their ass off. So,
and I will say one of the things, because I've been building websites for a while, and there's constantly learning. And I will say there's a lot of sites that like you visit, and this is why we wanted your guys' feedback, where I'm sure that in their mind they've built this website that's easy to use, but you go and it's like hard to navigate. Like we found the article, but then when we went to their homepage, could not figure out how to get to the article.
Yeah.
And so we were like, and I'm sure that they, built the site obviously wanting people to be able to use it. So we were like, you know what, we should get feedback, because when you're working on it yourself, it's kind of like a movie. At a certain point, you get too close to it. You have to step back and be like,
it makes sense to you
because I built it and I know
Right.
where it is. But I wanted to see if you guys, without any help or prompting, could just easily go there and find it. So I'm happy that most of it you guys seem to be connecting with. And the 2 things that we've gotten feedback so far that were not as clear were 2 things that we were sort of discussing about maybe
Japan
changing
was all
anyway.
over those same 2 things.
Yeah, so it's good because that
Yeah.
way we can.
And David, I mean, that's not true, man. I mean, look, dude, not only are you a wonderful supporter, and I am astounded that you guys keep showing up here, because usually what happens is before the trailer, after the movie is filmed, there's this lull between the movie and the trailer, because people are like, nah, they're probably just over there. Oak's probably just meandering, and Nikki's looking pretty, and I'm gonna watch Magnum PI. But man, you make really great content. So I mean, it would make me feel good, like to post to the sites you have, just to drive traffic there, because you're fantastic. I love your stuff.
I do too. I think it's so creative, and I like that you take the time to like put together cohesive little stories, and you include yourself with the footage that we have, and it's just so cool that you do that.
Yeah, I was so jealous because I wanted you as Tank to do one. Anyway, I'm not saying you have to, Dave. And also, I know, am I correct? You really have to excuse me, you guys, because I haven't been to sleep since last night. But also, we've had
Thank you, Johnny.
all day today. I don't think this is exaggerating. Probably between 700 and 1,000 people writing us stuff about the website and doing the polls. So I kind of get mixed up sometimes. It is becoming a little overwhelming.
That's the stuff that we love. That's what we're talking about, though. You took a toilet roll tube and made it look like you were in. Like that's the inventive stuff that we love.
Look, and look, David, you're just as creative as Matt Crabtree. I mean, that's what Matt did. I literally thought when Matt did that video with the crawl or die and the flashlight behind it, which I love. I'm actually going to steal that probably for one of the teaser trailers. And I thought, man, because Matt always claims, I don't know how to use this dang nabbit phone. And so I was like, oh, you're such a liar. You got a program and look what you made. No, you know what he did? It's kind of the same thing you did. He had a piece of cardboard and he cut out the words. And then
he stood in front of his TV with a flashlight and slowly scrolled it past the TV. Like, I love creative stuff like that.
And look, David, this is no lie. And if Matt will admit to it, Matt always gets embarrassed, but
Thank you,
I'll admit to it. That's what making a movie is. Man, I mean, Matt.
Ask Matt what the creature is made of.
Matt literally screams at the top of his lungs and actually would get mad at me sometimes when we would go live, because he would be like, I want people seeing my creature in light, because, it's duct tape, it's a couple Q-tips, it's a hefty bag.
It's smoke and mirrors, but if it works, it works. And actually, I wanted to say this. I think it was the guy that created the original Alien, Alex Gillis. Is that his name? He's a FX guy. He posted something recently. I'm pretty sure it was him. that they were using the same materials that Matt uses to build this creature. It's like this big creature that they were building, and the legs were what Matt used. I won't say because I know Matt gets embarrassed, but Matt, you should be proud of that. Like, he's using the same stuff you're using, so that you should not be ashamed.
I tell people all the time, it's called movie magic.
Yeah.
And the magic is the same thing you did, David, with that toilet paper roll. That was brilliant. I literally had to watch it, and I was like, what? Did he go find a tunnel somewhere? I was like, how did he do that? And I did the same thing with Matt. I love that stuff. And I don't know
David,
how
we'll
Jason
figure something
Sunday is making those little videos.
I don't either.
But I'm going to tell you what. One of my favorite, I'm only because I was here, I was again having to drone through codec stuff for the movie, and I heard Nikki playing something, and I was like, what the heck?
I was like,
what the hell is that?
What the hell are you listening to?
So she realized I didn't see it, and she was like, there's some hicks that went out there, and she was like, I think Matt is in trouble. He is up there painting Crawl or Die on a water tunnel. I was like, what? And I had to look at it, and I literally almost pissed my pants laughing so hard.
Exactly, Diane.
Absolutely.
Actually,
hilarious.
Diane, at one point for something, we used marshmallows, pantyhose, and chocolate syrup to make something. I won't say what, but you're right. It's stuff like that because it works. And Matt is the creative brain that comes up with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jamie one time was cleaning in their effects room, and she was like, "Why do you guys have a bag of giant marshmallows?" And he was like, "It's for my creature.
It's for the intestines." But also, Jason, everybody loves that one. But I got to tell you the one I love the most, and it's the one I love, so I'm so glad you made it, is the one talking to the computer.
It reminds me of Hal.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Well, and it reminds me of Alien.
Yeah.
But anyway, I loved it. I absolutely love that. Love that. But I love what all you guys are doing. Listen, I'm telling you right now that they're and I'm going to support them because they're trying. They're just very young. They the website, and we'll post about them because they did an article on us. It's called Indie Boom. They're trying to do an independent film festival. They're trying to find people that have money to help small independent films, and they're trying to promote. But I'm telling you, I mean, you guys
I agree, Janet.
blow us away because, I mean, they're posting articles about Ridley Scott and all that, and then we come up in the same thing because they have some backing by some of those people that are trying to remain anonymous and trying to push independent films, their way of kind of giving back. And
again,
they were like, how the hell
to go further,
you have all these people? And I was like, hell, I don't know. I would just
to go further, how they found us in the first place is that Blazing Blue Horror Reviews that wrote a review or like a review about our first movie. They saw his review and then they looked into our hashtag and they saw and they were like, holy shit.
There's a small group. It's a small fraction, but don't worry, my ego is still there. About 13% of the people that watch these videos are independent filmmakers. But again, let me tell you, and this also has to do with actors and probably anybody in life that tries to do anything. Sometimes people, they go, well, why are you running around screaming that Joe John Jeffrey that's sitting in his basement that has a blog wrote about your movie?
Hello, sorry.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And here's why. That's what we have. That guy hadn't written a review in like 4 or 5 years. He had kind of given up on it. I read some of his stuff and I was like, man, you should keep doing it. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch a movie. And he watched my movie and he was like, you know what? I started this so many years ago because I love independent film. I'm going to start it back up. So he started it back up, and I guarantee you, he probably maybe had, well, he didn't have any retweets except for Nicole and I there for a little while. But off of him, the Indie Boom people saw it, and all of a sudden, we're going to be having a really, really nice PR thing to push out there. And I think sometimes people look at Nicole and I, where we live, or people go, well, there's only 2 people watching this guy talk right now. You never know where that leads. We when we showed our movie in LA, and our distribution consultant, when we premiered at the movie theater there, he told us, he said, listen, now I don't want you guys to feel bad. He was like, I just did it. I think it was a Renee Zellweger independent film, really way independent. And he was like, there were 2 people that showed up to watch it. And the director and the producers, they all had to sit there because they said they were going to do a 30-minute Q&A, and they had to talk to those 2 people. And I was like, and he was like, now you don't even have Renee Zellweger. And he was like, so you may have nobody here, but you got to stay here in case somebody meanders in. I was like, okay. Now, luckily, we had a crowd of people, and we ended up having to stay for 2 hours. But again, we would have, and we've done it. I'm not going to say we've been to a convention once where literally, I think we were one of 4 tables at this convention, and I think there were like 4 people that got in for free because they were just trying to get people in. And I was charging $1 for my DVD. What did I have to work? I had to work about an hour to get that guy to buy my DVD.
Yeah.
He kept going, yeah, I don't know. He was like, what about 50 cents? I was like, no. I was like, it's a fucking $1. And yeah, you know. So don't ever. I see actors do it all the time. I mean, I don't even have a line. Yeah, well, Nikki, what'd you have? 2 lines?
Yeah.
In Isolation?
Yeah. And I promoted the hell out of that. And he was nice enough to he put me in the trailer because I wasn't in the movie very long at all. It was like literally like a maybe 0.5 second flash where I was just on the screen. And I like screen captured that, and I was like sharing everywhere, be like, admit it, you see my face for like 1 second. And I was just so excited to even have that involvement. So
that's why I love talking to all the fans. I mean, it's actually one of my favorite parts of the day. Because, look, I love editing. I absolutely love it. It's just frustrating, but I love it because I'm in control of it. I'm not in control of the actors and the set pieces and all that. You know, I do the best I can, but sometimes you're like, no, shit, this is all I got. Let me film this and see if I can make it work. But in the editing, I'm in control of it, so I love it. But I do love coming on and talking to the people. Like, I get stunned every time. Every single time we go overseas onto I think their Twitter is called like a JO. We have to go through NordVPN. Anyway, and even here, I'm like, yeah, we're probably not going to have anybody come on tonight. Probably not going to be anybody here. And she's like, nah, don't be that way. I'm like, nah. And you know, people are.
I was stunned. I remember when we did the insane, and I was on accident in the end because we were trying to just do like the last 2 days of that first campaign, and we started too early, so we ended up doing like 3.5 days.
Yeah, I was a day off. I was like, I was promoting it overseas. I know I could have told all these people here, guys, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to stay up to the end, but I thought it ended tomorrow at 6.
We ended up doing it for like 3.5 days live. And I was like, you know, this is going to probably be really difficult because there's no way we're going to have people watching 24 hours a day. And I'll be damn if we did not have people on there chatting with us. I think there was maybe in total of those 3 days, like 2 hours that we didn't have people. And that was it. You guys are the best. And I know it's because you guys are different time zones and stuff too, so that helps. But I was just like, I can't believe these people are on here supporting us for 3.5 days while we're live looking like crazy zombies.
And case in point,
because
we stayed,
same 2 fans that show up, but I love them.
The South Korea fan group went out of their mind because they didn't think we could stay the whole time, and that got us an article in one of their local newspapers, and that article got us in talks, which doesn't mean anything, but with a very prominent overseas distributor. So again, you know, you never know. That's how it is when I do. Yeah, you know, but the truth is, John, like, look how we met. I mean, you know, like, you just never know. You just never know. And I'm going to be supporting you forever. I mean, even if this movie craps the bed, Well, by the way, if it does, it's not because of me. It's the actors.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's good. Trust me, it's good. I always told Nicole and the other 3 or 4 people that are essential behind the scenes. There's this moment when you film, and you're not quite sure. You think, you're pretty sure. You look good in the camera. You're pretty sure it felt good. Editing it in your head, and then there's that day, and I send Nikki away, and I open up all the footage, and I start looking at it, and it's happened to me once on that first movie. I looked at it and went, nope. I mean, it's all right, but it ain't. I don't need to be spending the next year of my life working on this. I just need to throw it together and put it out there and be like, well, did the best could. That one didn't work. Let's stand up and do it again. But this one's pretty scary to me. It's pretty good. I'm having a good time. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it because I don't know if you guys know this, but just because I live here doesn't mean I get to see any more than any of the other actors.
Nope.
I will eventually get to see more because I do work on the sound. But up until this point, I have probably seen just as much as you guys have seen. He doesn't show me anything unless we have to film something that I fucked up, and he goes, "You see this? You fucked up. Do it better." But that's about it.
Because it's insane. Because I learned this a long time
Hey,
ago.
Carissa.
And this also goes to when I was flipping homes and I was building custom hot rods for people. When you bring people in too early, I'll take the movie for a prime example. They're looking at one little scene and they don't see whether the tone of the movie has rushed up to that point or if it's been really slow. And because if they look at just one little scene, like a 5-minute scene, they're like, man, why is everybody running around moving so fast? And you're like, right, because you haven't been going through the story and you don't understand that. And I don't.
And also, I feel like some actors have been like, well, can I just see this one scene that I did?
Oh, yeah.
And what they don't understand is like, for that to happen, Oak would have to stop edit on the whole movie, edit together that scene, and then once he did it, it's a waste of time because he'd have to re-edit it to fit the cut of the movie.
Right.
So it's just like a waste of time for him to even do that.
I'll give you an example that might make that easy to understand. There's a scene with Nicole that I shot, and the way I have it written in the story, it's probably good a 3-minute scene where she's saying something, and as I've gone through the edit, I've realized nope, pace needs to pick up here. So what I decided to do was I cut her physical presence on the screen down, and I used her words and overlaid it on something else that's happening. But how do you like? First of all, if I didn't know Nicole and she came in to look at that scene, she'd be like, first of all, it seems really weird because it's an abstract part in the movie, and I'm sure they're going to be like, I mean, yeah, okay, cool. And I'm like, right, yeah, okay, cool, because you haven't watched an hour of the movie to build up to this moment. But also, and this happened to me once, I had to do something similar on Crawl or Die, and it crushed that actor because that actor in their head thought, oh man, I have this great big speech. And I'm like, yeah, you do. But for the sake of the movie, we only see you for a quarter of that. And your voice overlays something else. And I've realized that, I mean, if they see that for the first time, they're caught up in the movie and they're just happy to be there. And they're like, oh, this is great. But if they have in their mind, I've got a great 3-minute scene. Mom, look, you got to come. You got to watch. Wait a minute. What the hell? I was only, and it's just horrible. So yeah, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Can't do it.
Yep. It's like when I worked on Screen with David, he did this scene where Leslie and I filmed this scene in a trailer with.
By the way, sometimes I don't tell you, but I do love you.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, really do. She's
Yee.
worked her ass off the last 20 hours. Because I'll go for days and days and days, but she needs sleep.
I do need sleep, and he lets me sleep, so that's good. But he also kicks my ass in gear when I need it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I worked on this movie Screen with David. He was David Baker at the time. He's David Wild now. And what he's talking about, we filmed this whole scene in this trailer to David Zeliff, who's actually in our movie.
Thank you, froze. Oh, there you go.
And we filmed it, and he filmed the scene, and then in the movie, he ended up just going black screen to where you could only hear all of us, but you couldn't see us.
And it was brilliant.
And it was great in the sense of the movie. It worked perfect. It was brilliant.
Yes.
It was like such a creative. I've never seen that before for that long, of a period of time.
But that whole actor.
But if you would have showed me just that, and that's the only scene I had as an actor, and then it was like, oh, there's no footage. It's just black screen, and you just hear us talking. I probably would have been like, what? Yeah. But it works so well in the movie. So it's like, it's hard to show anybody, especially the actors that put the work in, that are expecting to see something. I'm not saying you guys are all cut out in black screen in this movie. I'm not saying that, but
no,
it just doesn't make sense. Like, it wouldn't make sense for you guys to even watch it until it's at a place where it's a cohesive story.
Yeah, it's how I didn't believe this, by the way, because I'm hard-headed, and I had 2 or 3 people tell me this, and I won't go into it much longer, but on my first movie, Richard Linklater let me use his assistant director to film my movie. And he kept telling me, he was like, because some of the actors, and it was the first time I'd ever done anything on that level. And the actors kept coming up to me going, hey, when can I come in and see my part? What's it going to look like in the movie? And I'm like, oh, in a couple of weeks. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, what? He was like, you're not showing them anything. He's like, you're not going to have the sound? He was like, think about the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger screams, get out of here! He was like, and if you just saw that without the rest of the movie, you'd be like, this sucks. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Can you please do that?
That would.
So wait, Lori has the record. No, kid. Because you said you love me.
So, anyway, but it is a hard thing. It is, to me, it's the hardest thing. I used to have a rule that I would not become friends with my actors. It was a little hard on this one because it was such a long shoot. It was filming 6 movies.
I remember you even told me when we first started, you were like, no, you're going to have to be the one that's down there and like making friends with them and becoming part of that. He's like, because I'm going to have to isolate. And you did, I think, as well as you could.
As well as I could.
With it being such a long shoot.
The reasoning behind that is...
That I had to sleep busy. Okay, David.
See you, David.
Thank you for sending those videos, by the way.
Is you have to serve the movie. And sometimes, even with Nicole, there's a scene she had that we filmed. And I was like, it ain't going to fit in the movie. It's gone. It's out of here. And it's gut-wrenching to do, but it's 100 times harder if it's, your great friends and you see them tear up and be like, but that was my big speech. And you're like, yeah.
Thank you, Janet.
If I put it in, it's going to ruin the movie. It has nothing to do with your acting. It just doesn't fit. It was good on its own, and you did a great job, and we'll put it in the deleted scenes, but it ain't going to be in the movie.
It happens to everybody, though. I read an article about that once where there's like major actors that were in movies, and their part just got completely cut out, even though they're a big named actor.
Well, I always come down to the thing that I told everybody on day one.
Okay, David, I will.
I made everybody a promise that even if I have to cut them down to 13 seconds in the movie, they're not going to be embarrassed about the job they did.
You'll be proud of those 13 seconds.
And what I always tell people is you would rather the movie be something that everybody enjoys and you are a part of that versus 5 or 6 12-minute scenes of people talking about how their grandmother died while doing heroin and drinking with their baby on New Year's Eve when the raccoon fell out of the tree.
Damn, Granny sounds lit. Who's this Granny?
And then everybody's like, this is the most boring movie on the planet.
That doesn't sound boring.
Right.
That sounds pretty fucking exciting to me.
The most indie train spotting experiment I've ever seen.
I want to see that train wreck on film. Can I play the granny? Can you write that script when I'm older? I want to play the heroin-addicted, raccoon
You
wielding
ain't no
granny.
spring chicken no more, baby.
Hey, you know what? I'm younger than you, bitch. So I don't want to hear nothing. It needs to be the bad guy, but someone's got to do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oak actually kind of likes being the bad guy, though, so.
No, it's only because I justify it.
Yeah. No, it's because you respect the art so much that you aren't going to cater to one specific person and sacrifice the movie for everybody else that's worked hard on it.
Yeah.
You know, Nikki, I'll watch that, right? I want to play the raccoon wielding heroin granny. That would be amazing.
So listen, again, we're going to throw this out here one more time and then one more time at the end before we log off. Please visit the website.
Oh, yeah, I can show a quick.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to everybody about it.
So I'll just do this.
Because if you all can please be sure to fill out those polls. I mean, literally,
so here's the polls.
it's fast.
They're in our story. They're in my stories and Oak stories on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Well, Twitter, it's on the timeline, but the other ones. So if you just go in the polls, you can vote. So I'm kind of seeing the results here, but you can vote on our stories.
Yeah, it's just like click.
Yep, it's yes or no questions for all of them, except the last screen gives you the opportunity if you had an issue to sort of just be like, this happened or this didn't work or something.
Yeah.
So if you guys just check out the website, and I would suggest before you read the questions, even just go to the website and just navigate through it. Just go see what you click on, what you enjoy looking at, what works, what doesn't work, and then come back to the poll and sort of
helps us
vote. Because we want it to be the best functioning website for you guys, and also we want to make sure we're able to get across what we want.
Yeah.
While it still works. Emily, what's up?
Hey.
Janet, you're so sweet. Thank you. But yeah, so that's what we've been doing all day today. Is been working on the website.
Well.
I know that hey.
That's what you've been doing.
Well, yeah, he's been working on the edit. He helps me on the website though. Is he'll give me notes, and then I go in and I do all the work, and then he's like, the fuck, this sucks right here, fix this problem. So you're always my sounding board to make sure that it's good. So you are working on the website, but that's not what you're doing the whole time. He's been editing and listening to Larry Jordan videos to help him with his issue he's having with Final Cut. And
look, after about 2 hours of listening to him, he always does these. He does the worst deadpan dad jokes on the entire planet. He was like, I'm trying to figure this out, and he's like, do this codec, do this codec, do this codec, and he's like, hey, knock knock, and I was just like, oh my god. He's like, who's there? Nobody, because I'm a recording. Now, I hope you had a little chuckle there. And let's keep moving. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god, where was I? Okay, wait a minute.
He's like the Mr. Rogers of Final Cut Pro tutorials.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great though. He is. If you guys are filmmakers or use Final Cut in any capacity and ever have any issue, I would almost say I could guarantee that he's going to have an answer to help you. And he's been doing it since we were working back.
Well, he was consulted on the Final Cut being made.
Yeah, and he's been doing it since way back, even before when we made our very first movie, before Crawler Die was even a thought in Oak's mind, way back when we were working on that first movie, the Isolation movie.
Oh my god. You guys should have seen this. We were living in LA, and we're independent people. I think she was waiting tables. I don't remember what I was doing.
I was a damn good waitress.
And we had made this independent film, and we didn't have a score, and so we hired this woman. I don't know where we found her, that played the violin.
Oh yeah, I found her at a college,
and she was very proper, and she came in, and I was like, "All right, I got that horror movie here. Now this, you gonna see this woman's butt? Are you okay with that?" And she was like, "Yeah. What do you want me to do?" I was like, "Just play the violin." And I held up.
Okay, because
what do we have for?
Let me elaborate though, because how I I went online, and this is kind of one of the good things about LA and living in a big city. Like I'm sure New York is the same. That if you're looking to collaborate with artists, it's pretty simple to look up local talent and like find somebody that does what you're needing. Like I guarantee you, if we were like here, we need really good violinist, it'd probably be a little bit harder to find them to show up. And then the other good thing about LA is she was willing to show up at our apartment, and it was like 10 o'clock at night because she had school. But this girl was literally like going on to be in the LA Philharmonic Orchestra. Like she was in college. This was what she does. She's a violinist, like really talented. And so she shows up at 10, and I'm sure this woman, of course, I'm sure she's even working on other films at this point. They give you sheet music, okay? But we don't know sheet music. We're just doing a movie.
I had no damn sheet
and
music.
We had like a little freaking shitty microphone shit thing.
We
like,
had.
It was like the iPhone speaker plugged into from your headset. It was like some shitty.
It was what was it called? Fry's Electronics for $7. It was a piece of plastic that had a piece of plastic that came up and had a little tiny microphone on the end of it. I was holding it up there by a violin.
Yeah.
And I was like, play.
And she walks in and she's like, because I'm sure, also this is our studio or 1-bedroom apartment that was like the size of a shoebox. And there was no recording booth or anything. So it was our living room. And our cats are like, meh, meh, like trying to get up on her lap. And then she was like, where do you want me to set up? And we're like, well, just, right here. She's like, can I have a chair? Because yeah. So we get her a chair. And then she pulls out all her violin and gets it all set up. She tunes it and she's sitting there. And we start playing the footage. And we're like, okay, go. And she's like, what do you want me to do?
Turned out it was brilliant.
Yeah, and we were like, just play what you feel when you watch the footage. She was like, okay. And she did it. She did great. I still had her email saved for the longest time, but she was she went with it and she did a really good job.
The whole reason for bringing that up was that we could only afford an apartment that didn't have air conditioning, and we were having kind of like a heat wave like we're having here in Oklahoma. And
that was the shittiest part. Not only did it not have air conditioning, it was so it was so not up to code that the neighbors all had to have an agreement, because if one person used the microwave, it knocked we had to negotiate with the neighbors of who got to use what at what time.
It was fun times. But I had filmed the movie. It took me 2 years to film the movie and get it to where it was. So I was on year 3 finishing it, and I was putting the sound on it, and never dawned on me, but it got so hot that the computer shut down. And when it booted back up, my movie was gone. And
because Final Cut at that time didn't have the autosave feature.
It didn't have the autosave. And I backed it up like every hour, but my backup, of course, was in the same temperature as everything else, and it shut down.
You were like 3 days behind.
No, the whole thing was gone. And it wouldn't open. It wouldn't do anything. I was like, well, I can't. I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm gonna go work at Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, fuck this, fuck all of it. It's not worth it. And
Chuck E. Cheese.
And after about 24 hours, I got on the websites and started finding about who's the smartest man in the world on Final Cut. And everybody kept saying, again, this is what I keep telling people. Everybody said, well, it'd be Larry Jordan, but he's not going to speak to you. Mm-hmm. He won't talk to you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah. And
he did, though. And
he did, and he showed up to our apartment.
Dude, and he got a parking ticket. I felt so bad.
I know. And we couldn't even reimburse him for it. I was like standing there going, sorry. But thanks for saving my project.
I do not miss that about LA, by the way, is the freaking parking situation was, oh my God.
You guys have no idea how many photographs we would get from the police department from her running a red light. She'd always have her sunglasses on, her arm out the window, running a red light. And this would be the picture we get every time.
Listen, $80. I used to drive like a maniac, okay? But no, I'm talking about the parking, dude. It was horrible.
Yeah, parking was horrible. But anyway, back to Larry Jordan. I've always remembered that because, again, this is a guy that works. Lionsgate consults with him. Paramount consults with him. He wrote part of the Final Cut program. Brilliant guy. And here he was sitting in our space because he told me, he was like, I'm not going to say how much he was getting at the time. It was a lot of money. And I said, yeah, we don't have that. I was like, but Lord Jesus, you have to come out here. He's like, well, what do you have? I was like, well, was like, no one anything. And he was like, well, can you pay me $25 over 3 months? I was like, yes. And
Yeah.
so I sold my, I had what did I have? Oh, I had the very first She-Hulk.
Hi, Claudia.
And I sold it, and I paid him up front, and he sat in there for 5 hours with us in the squelching heat in a place. The bathroom was just, it was
bad
everywhere.
When I say it was a slum apartment, it was
he
slum.
was just and to this day, nicest guy in the world to us. We could write him, and he always asked about us.
I did realize now that he set up a whole infrastructure on his website that you can hire him to help you via the computer. I'm sure because what his experience with us had to have been one of the reasons that he went, screw this, I'm never doing this again.
Turned his ass off. I know he went in the bathroom and was like, Jesus Christ.
It was so bad towards the end. We started having a bug problem, and we would get a hold of our landlord for months. And we were like, please. And it got so bad at the end before we moved. It was like right before we moved out, I refused to even use our bathroom. I would go to the gym to take showers because I was like,
that's true.
This is gross. And I would clean it and bleach the drain, and it was just bugs. It was awful. That apartment was so bad. But it was the only apartment we ever got back our full security deposit.
Yeah, that's because it's me.
I
can't stand not leaving a place.
No, but even then, we always do that. But every other apartment, they always keep something. This guy gave the full, and I know it's because he was afraid we would turn him in. I'm sure he was because we could. I know that electric in there was a fire hazard.
Oh my god,
terrible.
We'd be watching. We were watching some. We couldn't afford. That was back when Netflix was. They would send you the DVDs, and
we had Redbox too.
Yeah, well, we had too many late fees on Redbox, or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was.
We'd have new emails, like new accounts.
So we had finally. I don't remember what movie it was, but she and I had been waiting because we couldn't afford to go to the movie theater, and we were like, "We'll wait." We got it, and I swear to God. We had like a big thing of popcorn, and we were sitting on the floor. We had the windows open and the fan in, and had the TV on because, had to have a nice TV and DVD player. And we didn't start that damn thing for 5 minutes, and the whole side of our building, the electricity went out.
And I remember the neighbor across, because I think
he was
that
like,
was like,
sorry, I was running the microwave.
Yeah, he was like, I made the mistake of making coffee and running the microwave at the same time. My bad.
Yeah, and
I remember
it was hard that time because for days we didn't have anything.
And when we first moved in, I remember we did something like that, and we had a knock on the door, and I was like, whoa, like, who's knocking? Like, did we do something bad? And they were like, look, if you're going to live here, you just got to know this. We got to negotiate what appliances are being used. I use my microwave from noon to 12:45, okay? You get 12:45 to 1:15. And we were like, okay.
And
it was nuts.
Because I'm me, I didn't understand this. And I was like, who in the F is telling us what we're going to do? So I come bowling out of that door. I was like, you need to take 3 steps back right now. I don't know who in the hell you're at. And then all the other neighbors started coming out, and they were like, whoa. He's not being an ass. And I was like, you need to step back. And they were like, no, look, watch. And they went in there, and I was like, boom, our electricity went down. And I was like, what the hell?
I remember there was one of the neighbors that had figured out how to hack into the box that he could reset it. But
it was rough.
Yeah, and they were like, I remember I was so excited because they were like, laundry on site. And in LA, that's not common. Like, normally, unless you pay more, like, you can get really pricey apartments. But normally, you're going to a laundromat. Oh, well, that's because they were like, laundry on site. And I was all excited. And I didn't even look at it before because I remember we were like desperate to find an apartment at the time. We had to move and we needed a place. And this guy was the only person that was like, you can move in today. And we were like, okay. The laundry on site was 2 machines, 1 washer, 1 dryer in this dank like, I guarantee you someone got murdered in that basement at some point. And he let people store stuff. So it was like floor to ceiling shit packed down there. And these 2 little machines that were like falling apart and smelled like mildew and constantly like nobody would use them. And the first time I went down there, I was like, sweet, I can't believe no one's using them. I opened it and it was like, woof. And I was like, oh! So yeah, I never used those again. The laundry on site. We had some good times but actually after that, I'm happy. I was happy that our last LA apartment. After that, we moved to Long Beach. We actually got to live right on the beach because I got a job for a while that paid better, and right on the beach, and it was very nice. We had our own unit, wash and dry in our unit. Had a gym, so it made up for that. But that apartment was. Whew.
Hey, Claudia, how you doing?
Work is killing me.
Nice to
Glad I
see
could
ya.
make it. Hey, Steve.
Thanks for popping in.
My dad was on also, but I think he commented on old lives, so I don't know if he made it over here.
Oh,
I tagged him and said hi, but I saw it was an old one, so. Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve. I see, Steve, I saw some pictures where that you got killed in a movie again or something, right? You had blood all over your shirt. Looks like you're having a good time.
So again, I know I don't want to sound like a broken record, but people pop in and out, and people are going to be watching this video later. Nikki, why don't you take it over? You're better at it than me.
Okay, so we recently revamped our website, our crawlordietrilogy.com website, and we are wanting anybody that's watching, if you wouldn't mind, to go check out the new site, navigate through it, see how it feels to you, and then on our Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and on our Twitter feed, we have polls that just ask, like, there's, I think, 5 questions that are yes or no questions that are just going to help us to fine-tune the site, make sure that it's functioning well for you guys and for us, and that it's easy to use and it loads well and you can find everything pretty easily.
Yeah, and be honest. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Yeah, be honest and just take the
website. Getting a distribution deal comes down to 2 things. The website is vital, and then, the social media PR. So it is important to us.
I love dying. I love that.
But also, could you pull it up and show people? Oh, could you do 2 things? Emily, are you still here? I'm going to pretend that you're still here. Pull up where you showed everybody where the polls are. And then also show, pull up the Twitter feed and just kind of explain to some of the people who aren't on Twitter what that is. You can do that on the homepage and just kind of look at it.
Emily said, yes, sir, badass, sir. Okay, so
I love you, Emily.
This is just the Facebook page. So if you go, oh, and look at Diane. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. We need to change that picture. There's another thing I got to work on. Okay, so once you see the website, if you go to my story or Oak Stories, I put the polls in the stories. And of course, it'll say yes or no when you go there. It's not like we force you to say yes, but there's about 5 questions, and if you just go through the stories, you can vote. Well,
show them where do you hit that again?
It's just in the stories, and this is on a desktop computer. If you're on your phone, you just check the stories at the top. It's also on our Instagram stories. So, Instagram stories, you can go through.
And I don't know Instagram. What did you click on to get to the stories?
The same. It's the stories. It's at the top. At the top of the page, there are little circles, and mine, and also it's on Crawl or Die on Instagram.
So it's just yes or no.
Vote. Yep, you just vote. And then on Twitter, hold on.
Well, they can actually do it from the homepage.
I know, but they're easier to find here.
Well, I was going to have you go to the homepage and show people that.
Well, they can't vote from the homepage of the website.
What? I thought they clicked on it. Didn't it take them there?
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Okay, hold on.
Especially for people who don't have Twitter.
So if you go to the website, hold on, you make this a little bit wider. And you scroll down, here's Twitter on our website. So if you don't have Twitter or you want to go navigate here from the website, you can find my page and it'll take you to my page and then it'll have the votes and stuff.
So for people who don't know Twitter, if you go back to the homepage, when it says the world is talking about Crawl or Die 2, everybody in the world that hashtags Crawl or Die 2 shows up in this feed all day long. And this thing, you can keep scrolling down. You can see there's people from South Korea. There's people from Germany. There's people from Japan. People from here in the U.S. There's Nicole and I talking to all these people. See Jason Sunday on there. And if you just keep scrolling down and then when it says a little more posts, you'll see what Twitter is. There's Riley. Riley was posting that about us on it. It's kind of like a ticker feed.
And on this feed, you can also play. So you can play videos right on our site from Twitter. They play, and you can also I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, make that one full. because David Duke did this. I wish he hadn't gone. I don't know if you guys have seen this because it's on Twitter, but he put himself as a clown in the movie. And he made that. And that's what I love about Twitter is he made that.
I don't know how to pause it. Sorry.
What's really interesting about that is I didn't know how he did that, but he held up a toilet paper roll. Toilet paper roll, and then filmed through the toilet paper roll him looking through it, and then cut himself into the movie and did that that little piece there. It's hilarious. But anyway, I know that there's a lot of people that watch this video when we post them, and that aren't on Twitter. So what we decided to do is on the homepage of our website, if you just go there, you can see all the people. You can just scroll down. You don't even have to join. You can just see all the content and play the content that people are making, the videos, and people are drawing stuff on there and yada, yada, yada. So I think it's pretty cool. Now, we're getting ready to have in 2.5 weeks a huge article that happens in Germany. So you'll see a lot of tweets go by that you're not going to know what it says. You'll see the hashtag CrawlerDie2, and you'll see Nick and I talking to them. I think Twitter does have a translate thing on it.
Yeah, it has a translate. But, I don't actually. It'd be interesting if that works on our website. I'll have to look into that. I don't know if it does or not.
Yeah.
I think it does have a setting the programmer using for that. So I'll look into that. I'll look into that for sure. But I am really proud of the site. I think that.
But by the way, one thing you guys didn't know.
With tweaks, like
I'm gonna share with you guys a secret. See, this is what you hardcore people get. Since you're here, you're gonna get to know a secret. When we were living in that apartment in LA, her pop, which his name is Wolf, and he rides a Harley. He made me promise not to date Nicole. And so once we started dating, I didn't want Wolf to know. So I would pretend that I was renting, now get this, the closet of the apartment to live in while I was making the movie. And every time he would show up, I would have to put like my pillow and everything in the closet and act like I was living in the closet.
And what I love is my pop was like, I knew the whole time.
I know.
I'm like, I know you did because you're not stupid.
So I was like, this man will kill me.
No. He's not as scary as he sounds.
Yeah, that's because you're his girl. Yeah.
Oh Lord. So that's basically what we wanted to update today with just the website. I do appreciate all of you that have voted so far.
Yeah, and listen,
it is up for 24 hours, the polls. So
the polls are up
and
for
we'll be doing
hours.
Future polls because the website will be ever evolving because we are going to constantly have new content and new things to share. So
so two things to put onto that. Number one, please sign up for the newsletter on the website.
Yes.
Because what is going to start to happen is as the editing becomes, when that computer comes in that you all graciously help me get, once that gets intense, it's going to be just Nicole and me for like an hour a day on social media. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to send out these questionnaires that are very important to us. Like we have 4 versions of a poster, 3 versions of a tagline. I need your all's honest opinion to be like, I mean, it's okay. Or like, that's badass. Or that's not good. And I think it's a little difficult to put it on all the stories. So what we're going to try to do is really throw out a newsletter with the questionnaires and what we're needing and share content that way. I mean, we're going to keep doing it this way, but this is a lot of work for us because we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have my Facebook account, hers, the Crawler Die Trilogy Facebook. So we got to add up all those polls. And then Japan and Switzerland and Russia and so it gets crazy. But we send out one newsletter to everybody and everybody just clicks it, makes it a lot easier for us. So please sign up for the newsletter.
And we will not.
That includes the actors in the movie, please.
Yeah, I think
because everybody has an opinion.
It definitely is, even moving forward in the future, because I know that everyone thinks, well, Facebook won't go away or Twitter won't go away, but if MySpace taught us anything, that any platform at any time,
video.
Yeah, any platform at any time can go away. So we are always going to have our website, and we will always be able to keep in touch with you guys through the website, even if all the platforms go away, unless, of course, the world ends or something. But so if you
I'll be out there with like a crank and like
if you sign up for our newsletter, it's just the best way to guarantee that we'll always be able to be in touch with you. And we don't spam. We will probably be sending out newsletters more frequently during the movie process, obviously, because we have a lot to share.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be more than like once a week at the most.
Yeah.
And then on the off times when we're not filming a movie or we don't have something to promote, we do not spam you with random stuff.
So that's the one thing. And then the second thing is, look, it's a bright point in my day.
When you see my face when you wake up, is that what you're going to say? Here I go. They can't hear you.
So that's the one thing. Please sign up for the newsletter because we do want your all's feedback. It is important to us. And number two, keep making the art and stuff. I'm stunned. I literally thought the way on the last movie when we put the trailer out, we had about 2 weeks of people doing stuff and promoting it. And then it died off again until we got the deal with DirecTV and Hulu. And then all of a sudden, people came back. And that lasted for about 2 or 3 weeks and then went away. And I told Nicole, I was like, look, you're going to have to work 3 times as hard because I've got 6 movies to edit. You're going to have to create content every day. I don't know how lucky Nicole and I have been to meet so many of you all, to be doing drawings and having fun and making videos and all that. But not only does it help us, not only is it a kind thing, not only is it fun, it does directly help us get a deal. Directly.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or buts. It absolutely does.
And anybody that has fan art that they make, it will be added to the website. And if you make videos or GIFs,
you got to send them to her.
You got to email it to me because it will not let me save it off of social media.
Yeah.
So please, if you do I will reach out to you as well. Like now that I'm caught up and all the current ones have been uploaded, or most of them I'm still combing through. If we get new ones and it's a video, I'll reach out immediately and say, can you email this to me? But if I missed one, or if you don't see one on there that you've made, reach out and I'll tell you the email and you can just email it to me and that way I can get it added.
So for any independent
Thank you, Johnny.
filmmakers or actors or anybody that's trying to get a business or anything out in the world, I'm gonna tell you a secret. When you send the photographs to her or you send the videos to her, what we will do is we'll put the hashtag CrawlerDie2 on it. And that, again, if you go to the homepage of our website, you'll see all the posts with that hashtag around the world that are getting put out there. Why that's important is, here's what a lot of independent filmmakers don't know. I assume this is the same with bands. All those people, they have a program. And they open up that program and they go, well, let's see if anybody's even interested in this. And they punch in that hashtag CrawlerDie2. And all of a sudden they're going, Jesus Christ, there's 900 people a day around the world that are talking about this. Versus they punch in that hashtag CrawlerDie2.
And it's just Oak and I talking to each other.
Yeah. I'm like, did you pick up the Cheetos? And
spicy hot or big cheesy poofs? Which ones?
And I know that's a fact because that's how we got our first deal. Because when we had Crawl or Die out there, we had more people talking about us. Was it the Avengers?
No, it was like Ant-Man or something.
Yeah, one of the Marvel movies came out the same weekend that we premiered on the UK, and we had more people talking about our movie than we're talking about them for about 3 hours. And all of a sudden, that's when DirecTV picked up. They were like, "Who the fuck are these kids? Who are these people? We just spent $20 million on PR. Who are these people?" And it was me and Nicole, like, tick, 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 tick. Hi, tick, 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 tick. And that's it. It's a good little tip for independent people.
Pro tip. Pro tip.
No, I
it
don't
was
think it was
Ant-Man.
Spider-Man.
It was Ant-Man.
Was it Ant-Man?
I found the image that you had saved the other day. It was
Oh,
Ant-Man.
it was Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it wasn't like, Iron Man. It was
Hey, Ant-Man was still a big movie.
No,
though.
it was good, but I mean, it's not like, we'd have had Ridley, although I was about to say we'd had Ridley Scott calling us, but we did have Ridley Scott's film production company talking to us. So that was fun. And then I had to be an asshole and say, no, she's not going to have a lesbian scene in the sequel. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Anyway,
Well,
so
I think we've covered it all, yeah?
I think that's it.
Yeah. And
I think
like I
what
said, the polls will be up for 24 hours. So.
Oh, by the way, when I said that, I have no problem with anybody. They were just wanting her to have a sex scene. And when I said right up front before we had the meeting, I said, yeah, she's not going to have a sex with it. And they thought, well, that's because you guys are a couple. So they were like, well, we'll make it a lesbian scene. And I was like, no, there's no reason for them to have a sex scene. This is ridiculous. Why? Anyway.
Janet, yes, I am on Twitter. I'll link it in the comments. Oklahoma and I are both on Twitter.
There's a fan site run by some people out of Frisco on there, Extreme Indie. They're on there. They support us.
And you can also find all of our social links on our website, too. So if you go to crawlerdietrilogy.com, I have linked all of our socials on the website as well. All right, guys. Well, we will see you.
I have 2 more hours of drone talking from a brilliant man. Oh, my God.
And now, what you're going to do. But yeah, we'll see you more this week, obviously. And we'll be tweaking the website based on the polls. And yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. There was something fun I was going to talk about, too. Nope. Never mind. Nope.
We'll save that for the next live.
Yeah, that's not a fun topic. It's about the behind-the-scenes footage. I can't put that on the web. I wanted to put it on the website, but I can't put it on the website because the distributors, it has to. Yeah, I can't.
The only thing that will be on there is under our press page. Once I have that live, I'm still working on that. We'll have like the Kickstarter trailer it'll stay on there. So if you missed it or want to see some behind the scenes footage from the Kickstarter trailer, that will be on our press page.
Well, it's amazing. I heard you talking, but I didn't hear a word you said.
That's
I
normal.
literally was over here going, oh my God, Larry just said.
That's pretty normal.
He just said, can we put off talking for another hour? And I'm like, oh my God.
You can take a nap.
Like
take a nap.
9:30. Okay. Take cursor.
You stop.
You
stop.
Okay.
All right, guys.
We love you
Thanks
guys.
for hanging out with us. Thank you for the website feedback.
Fill out the polls.
Yes. And we will catch you guys later.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Boom.